I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a quick story. It goes into what this business is really about. Jenny Gaines, remember Jenny Gaines? Military family. When we first went out showing houses, everything was normal. Showed her, we never let them pick the houses, by the way. The first time we go out, they pick the houses, and I let them get scattershot. They get to go, they drag us around for an 8-hour day. And I let them, I didn't route them. All right, so we get to crisscross the city. I exhaust the hell out of them. And by the way, I always make them drive behind me, all right? Their gas, as long as they're wasting their gas with my gas, then they get frustrated because they're not wasting my gas. It's because I have a Mini Cooper. So, all right, so they're like 3 tanks of gas in their minivan, right? And we're 8 hours a day, we're everywhere, and I don't let them stop to eat either, So I'm like, all right, you tired? And they're like, yeah. I said, good. Did you enjoy picking out the houses today and routing us? And they're like, this sucks. And I'm like, yeah, that's because you did it, right? All right. From now on, I get to pick out the houses. We're going to do 5 a day, and I get to route them, and you'll see how efficient it is. Okay, because we even have a very efficient way of showing houses, which is with intent. We'll get into that later too. So we ended up buying a house, and I sat her down. When we do the contract, we walk them through the contract, the offer, and it starts with the offer, and it folds right through to the end, and so it starts from offer to contract to close. If you do it right, you can walk them right through it, and it makes a lot of sense to them. It's written on a 9th grade level. But if you show them how each paragraph relates to the paragraph before, you can walk them right through it. And it's like, they're like, this is so easy. And I'm like, yeah, no shit. There's trigger points, and it walks you right through it. After 14 days, you're pending, and they go, we get it, right? So we had this really great relationship. Closing day, closing night, they're moving into their new home. Her husband drops her off. They're in their pickup. She got her little baby. He unlocks the door and pulls off. And it's an empty house, right? And she opens the door, the alarm goes off. And she realizes he's got her keys, her purse, everything, and she's standing there with a baby in a vacant house with an alarm going off. Okay? The police show up, 4 squad cars, and there she is with no ID, just a barefoot white chick with a baby. And the cop walked up to her and he goes, ma'am, you're going to come with me. And all she said to him was, call my realtor. And he goes, excuse me? And she goes, call my realtor. And he goes, you want me to call your realtor? Out of all the people you could have me call, her husband, she said, call my realtor. And so he goes, this is Officer so-and-so from, and he goes, I don't know why I'm calling you. I've got Jenny Gaines here, And I started laughing. I'm laughing hysterically. It's now 10:30 at night. Of course, I always answer my freaking phone. That's why asshole over there from last week was incorrect. So I'm like, well, what do you need? And they were like, well, they say they just bought this house on Peninsula Avenue, 610 Peninsula. And I said, they did. And he goes, well, I'm going to need proof of that. I said, well, just keep holding her phone. And I said, boop. All right, now check it. And he goes, what did you do? I said, I just sent you the signed HUD. And so she handed her the phone. She hit the text, signed HUD, problem solved, right? But that's the biggest compliment you can get. She could have very easily called the husband. The husband could have come back. He had the keys. He had everything, But the first person she thought of was me, right? As she's standing there with her baby, barefooted, getting ready to go to jail, right? That's how important you are closing day, that moment, to these people. That's what we do for a living, okay? They learn to depend on you that much that by the time you get to that day, you are that guy, right? Because you have fixed every problem they had that week. You are who they call 10 times a day for everything that comes up, right? And the last thing I tell them before we close is, as your pen hits this paper, I stop them. And the attorney, the first couple of times I did, the attorney would freak out. And I go, you're getting ready to sign that document, okay? Your windows are breaking, your air conditioning's failing, all right? Your plumbing's clogging up, your toilets are backing up. Everything's gonna go wrong this week. It's gonna be so freaking horrible, okay? It's gonna be literally a shit show because everything's gonna back up into the house, all right? You're a homeowner now, all right? I'm prepared for this, Okay, I've got guys that are going to help. I've got guys that are going to give me discounts. I'm here. The minute the first thing goes down, it's going to be air conditioning. This is Hampton Roads. It's the first thing that's going to go bad. You're going to pick up the phone. You're going to call me. I'm going to send somebody out. They're going to give you a great price on getting it fixed. Okay. The reason I do that is because the dreaded call, right? Because the minute you close on that house, you get that call. You sold me a shitty house. How dare you? You know, and then your client that you love is now angry at you because you closed on a crappy house. My call is, oh, dude, you were so right, man. My AC went out the first night we were in here, right? Totally different attitude. And I've got a fix-all guy, and I'm like, Rob will be out there right away, man. He'll be there, you know, and it's boom, charge $60 for me, because I always tell him to be prepared to go out there. You know, it's just, you setting them up for that dreaded call now becomes a funny call, and now you're still that guy, and that story becomes the reason that they refer you, okay? So you become that important is my whole point.